Welcome guys to the Dogs of War YouTube channel. My name is Jesus.
And this is Angelo.
We got here game 2 of our Netrunner tournament. We got Josh to the left, John on the left playing HB, classical HB. And then we got Mr. Angelo who's here with us on the right playing
Raina.
Damn, bad.
So, let me talk about Raina real quick. So I was a big fan of Raina when she came out, when we first saw her spoiled, and then we actually finally got a chance to play with her. As we've all seen, I think, over time, not all the chess pieces were fantastic, but a lot of them are good. But something I've noticed in Netrunner compared to a game like Thrones, like we happen to play as well around here, is that in Game of Thrones, I'm more of an aggro control style player. You know, I play Lannister a lot. I'm all about putting dudes on the board and then having my control effects based upon them. But what I found in Netrunner is the only way to really have control in this game as the runner is via keeping the corp broke. And I don't think anybody does it better than Raina does. And so I have found over the last month or two, when I've really embraced this particular play style, that my gameplay has gone to the next level, as it were, for myself. This deck that I'm playing right here in this tournament is loosely based around an article that was posted by Team Covenant's Stephen Woolley out there. He posted a really great article a couple of months ago about the anatomy of an Anarch deck. And
very good article.
Fantastic article, and he inspired me to kind of take some of his thoughts to heart and build a deck loosely based around that same anatomy structure he had posted, and it served me fairly well. The big thing I will say about this deck, and I don't know if you'll see it in any of the videos that we'll be putting up here this next couple of times, but it tends to stall out towards the late game. It's very much an early to mid-game deck, and if the corp can keep you from scoring points until you've blown through all of your economy control, they will generally end up winning the game. So if you're digging through R&D and you're just not finding agendas every turn, you will eventually stall out with this deck, but most games that doesn't happen. So
interesting play, not protecting R&D. I think it's better off. I wouldn't have put that server. Why?
So I think what he's advertising here is I've got an agenda in my hand and I need to score it and I don't want you stealing it. So I'm going to install a piece of ice that's going to stop you from, in theory, running on my hand. And you'll see here, I just don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. So I think if you notice in my hand, I have an account siphon. Yep. So what I'm doing here is I don't want to waste the account siphon. I want to see what that piece of ice is first and if it's something I can get through. And in this case, it's a guard, which I can. So instead of dropping that account siphon on the board and losing it, I'd rather force him to res, which again, with Raina, is a form of economy control. And I still kind of get the equivalent of account siphon in the sense that I'm bankrupting him. I'm just not gaining the credits back myself. So now you see I have an Overmind in my hand. You can see me counting credits, contemplating, can I get through that guard so I can drop an account siphon on him? So he finally ices R&D. No reason to give me some free access there. So it looks like here I did the math, and yep, it looks like I was right. I can use that Overmind to punch through that guard and land an account siphon on him.
You like Overmind?
I do. Overmind is a fantastic breaker in the sense that it tends to surprise the hell out of the corp when you drop it on the board. In this deck, it's just a one-time use card. I'll drop it, use it once to do something like this, where the runner thinks they're safe, or the corp thinks they're safe, rather. And then after that, he's kind of just, you know, garbage. Now, you've seen other gameplay videos of me on this channel where I use it more effectively, where I'm constantly recycling it in and out of play and stuff like that.
And notice you're following the tags.
Yeah, so this is a tag me deck. I don't care. I play this deck a lot differently than maybe a lot of people will. I've got a lot of, not a lot, but quite a bit of resources in the deck, and I use the resources as a taxation method for the deck. I'll install them because they're generally fairly cheap for me to install, and if I get credits or return off them, great. If you trash them, I'm costing you 2 credits and a click every time you trash one of those. And to me, that's fantastic when what I'm doing here, as you can see, he's completely bankrupt and can't res any piece of ice on the board right now. So now I have open access to R&D or anything he puts into that remote server. Because what's a buck going to do? A buck is not going to keep me out of anywhere. There's just nothing he can res, especially with Raina. So there you go. See, now I'm just going to start pulling agendas. You know, if you can't res that, there's nothing you can do. You can install all the ice in the world, and it just does not bother me. And he knows that that guard is not going to keep me out, so I draw another account siphon, and I can play it. I have the same old thing in my hand. And see, now you see I have an Armitage. So now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bait him. Nope,
Oh.
actually I'm Code Red, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm dropping Code Red instead.
Big red.
Big Red. Yep. So I've got that Armitage in my hand, though, so I'll play that, and I'll dare him. You know, waste the little money that you have to trash it, or I'm going to click it for credits every turn.
But why code red? You're not having your memory issues right now.
No, but I wanted to get it out of my hand. I have plenty of credits, and I don't want to have to start discarding cards if I'm digging for something.
Okay.
So I'd rather install it now and not need it, and then use it later. So now you see, he's trying to keep me out, so he installs, gains a buck, loses a buck for the installation, then he clicks for more credits. But this is what's so fantastic about Raina. Unless he has a quandary or something, he's not keeping me out of anything.
Yeah.
So I think now you're going to see me probably install that Armitage. Nope, what am I digging for now? Oh, no, I'm going to put a Rook in. So here, again, you go with this fantastic taxation, right? Now it's going to cost him 3 credits to res that, or he's going to have to trash that piece of ice. And I'm perfectly fine with him trashing it as well. That's a completely valid, you know, gameplay strategy for this deck, is just to force them to start wasting ice instead. And you can see he's got some agendas in his hand. I really don't care. I've got R&D completely locked up right now. I know what he's drawing every turn. So yep, so he installs, and he gains some credits. So more than likely, I can probably get into that. You know, he doesn't have a lot of money. I can spend 2 clicks to move Rook over, which you can see me moving it over already to HQ. And then so that's why I moved it over to HQ, so I could same old thing in account siphon into his hand. Now all that ice is +2 to res. The first one's +3. Either he spends a ton of money to res that ice, if he can even afford it, or I get in an account siphon, and either way I win. I want him broke so he cannot res that ice that's over that supposedly installed agenda.
I think that was your last click.
It was.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because he'll have to click for 3 credits next turn.
You move Rook over to the
and I can move Rook over and just run and steal that. So you can see he's not going to res. I'm going to eat the last of his dollars, gain it all back. On my side, float the tags, pass the turn over to him. And now he's stuck in a very difficult decision, because now he has... Okay, so we see it's Jackson. So it's a good thing I didn't run.
Yep.
You know, he has Jackson. I don't care that he has Jackson. I'd rather him draw a bunch of cards, because I can get into R&D without, you know, any problems right now.
So it means you're not going to go after it?
There's no reason to.
Okay.
Unless he starts throwing things in archives, there's no reason for me to have to run that server, unless I want to start forcing him to res ice, which he won't do. You're not going to res ice to protect a Jackson Howard. It's just not going to happen. Unless in this situation where you have nothing in archives, then maybe he would. But when you're this poor, I think you'd rather just have the runner trash it and be done with it. But if I'm not seeing anything on top of R&D and you res the Jackson, I'm fine with that, especially if I can get in, because it just means I'm seeing more cards every turn.
But the 2 draw is pretty good for the Corp.
It is.
Helps him dig deeper.
It does, but when you're broke, digging deeper
Yeah,
doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
You know, the best he could hope for is a sweep squeak at this point, and I doubt he's running it. So you can see me, I'm moving it back. This is what's so fantastic about these chess pieces, and good luck having money to res that.
Ooh, that was a rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Very good piece of ice.
Again, has to have money to res it, though, which is
I
what
know.
the fantastic part about this deck is. So now you see I draw into a Parasite, which I don't even need right now.
You want to put it on the...
I may put it on the guard. I don't remember. You know, this was about a month ago now, so this game's not exactly fresh in my mind. But, you know, I'm not really worried about attacking his hand right now. So even if I... Oh, okay, so you can see me running the Jackson now, probably because I had nothing better to do. It's like, oh, I might as well run it and see if I can get to it. And he does have 1 card in archives, so it's, you know, do you want me to trash it or are you going to use him? And I trash it, which is a good move on his part. I would not have popped it either, especially if that's not an agenda.
No, you could use another Jackson and bring that one back.
Exactly. So now you can see he draws back up. He's got a handful of ice, and he has to know all of it's useless, which has got to be so frustrating. You know, I can't install an agenda because you're just going to take it from me. I can't install ice and res it. You know, he can start making extra servers and gaining credits off them, because, you know, every time he installs a card, he gains a buck, but even that's only going to do is just thin his hand out.
Wow, nice. You run Vamp in addition to...
Yeah,
Siphon.
there's 1 Vamp in the deck.
Only one? Okay.
There is only 1, and the reason for that is that I've noticed if I'm so far up on credits that I just don't need them, but you're starting to gain credits back, and I can't find an account siphon, I'll vamp you. You know, it's not as efficient as account siphon is, but it still does what it's supposed to do. So you can see I'm running R&D again. I'm going to keep checking it. You're going to keep drawing. I'll keep checking for free, man. You're not costing me anything to get in. You notice I'm doing all this without icebreakers, which is fantastic. You know, I've got a corroder in my hand, but I'm not going to drop it unless I get to the point where it's like I desperately need it. So there you go. I parasite.
Shouldn't he be just moneying up?
He's probably afraid of the fact that if he just monies up, I'm going to account siphon him again. I mean, he's already seen, you know, 2. Yeah. Well, he's seen the same old thing in an account siphon, so he knows I'm running the combo.
In the Overmind, you only have 1 in the deck, you said?
I think there's 3 in the deck.
Oh,
when I was playing it this time around, I think I've since changed it, only because I found myself not installing them a lot of times. And there's no way for me to get them out of place. They just sit there and eat up memory until I go to my memory cap, and then I can trash them.
No, when you install Prom, I think you can trash them.
Oh, that's right. So you can do it that way, too. But otherwise, you know, like I said, they're just a one-time use thing. I throw them into play if I absolutely need them. But once you have a full rig running, they're really essentially useless, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, true.
So now you can see I'm just going to eat that guard, and it's just going to let me in for free soon. So see, he's clicking for credits. And it looks like I'm, going to hit R&D again. He can't res, so, oh, maybe he's going to. Is he finally going to res?
Counting his money.
And I want him to res. And in all honesty, if he reses, I'm okay with that. I've got a Parasite in my hand, and it's going to bankrupt him again to res that card. And it looks like he's maybe choosing not to. Nope, he can't decide. It's a hard choice, because you really have to look at it from the point of view, is it going to keep him out? And do I go bankrupt to prevent him from accessing a single card? So here's where I vamp. He's got some credits. I've got plenty of credits in my pool that I really don't care. And you see, I think this is actually a pseudo misplay on my part that turns into a benefit for me, because if you notice, I have no way of getting through that guard. And I don't think he realized that when I forced him to res that. So you see, I just end the run because not only. And see, Vamp did exactly what it was supposed to. It actually worked even better. It costed me no money, no tags, and I still got all the credits off his card. Because I'm not going to run HQ. The only time I'm running HQ is to get money out of him.
Yeah, but I think it's a big misplay for him.
He shouldn't have rezzed.
Yeah, he shouldn't have rezzed.
But he did. So it works out in my benefit in the end.
Yeah. When you're in tournaments, man, you just trying to keep your mind in the game is rough.
All right, so you can see he's drawing. He's trying to find something. You know, HB doesn't have access to a lot of low-cost, high-return economy cards like Sweep Sweep and stuff like that without going out of house form. So, you know, you're really stuck in this situation where if you're not running, you know, asset-based economy, so Adonis and Eve campaigns and stuff like that, you know, you're just stuck. And even at this point, if he was running them, I would just be trashing him. Unless he was putting ice in front of him. Which even then he probably couldn't res it, so, you know. Yeah. But that guard's going to be eaten. You know, that Parasite when it fires next turn. Too? Yeah. So it should die next turn.
Yep, there he goes.
And you can see I've got a corroder in my hand, so that hive I just don't care about. You know, I can blow right through it with that corroder. You know, it's a little expensive, but it can still guarantee me the access if I want to drop another account siphon on them. Oh, and I'm just going to drop a Parasite on it instead. Make it even easier.
The strength,
I think it's 3 or 4. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there we go. Running R&D again. Whatever it was. Oh, there you go. So this is when I love running R&D. When you can't afford to res and I start hitting your traps, I love it.
Well, I haven't seen where his secretary been playing in a while.
You know, again, I think that's good, though, because there's room then for you to put it back into your deck and catch people by surprise.
No, that's the biggest thing with this type of format is, you know, you have cards that are not good because everybody's running the counter. It falls out of favor, and then you come in a tournament, play it, and nobody's prepared for it, and you catch people by surprise.
But you can kind of see what my strategy is here. You know, I'm consistently running servers I don't care about to force him to spend credits so I can just consistently run R&D over and over again without having him res any ice. And it's just working flawlessly, as you can tell. You know, I've got another rook in my hand. If I really wanted to be mean, I would drop that rook on that R&D server, and then he's never resing ice there. It's just not going to happen.
But I think
he should have
trashed that.
He should have
that ice a long time ago.
When he installed that piece of ice in front of rook, I would have just trashed the rook instead and put that ice down there. But you know, Jonathan's still an up and coming player. You know, he doesn't play as often as a lot of us do. Unfortunately, he can't make it up here to league nights a lot of times. So, you know, he's still got to learn these things, you know, through tournament play. And there you go, see? Now, that first piece of ice is +5 to rest now on
the rest
server.
are +4.
So, you know, I just have free reign now on R&D. You know, if I had my R&D interfaces, this would even be faster. I just haven't drawn into them.
Oh, you do have them in the deck?
Yeah, I do. There's a data leak reversal, which, you know, I've installed that before, again, just to tax the corp. You know, nobody likes to see it hit the board. And there's another same old thing, so you can see there's probably going to be an account siphon coming up soon. You know, account siphon and same old thing. If you get above 3 to 4 credits, I'll play it. If you're at 1 or 2, obviously I don't care. You know, it's the moment you hit that 3 to 4 credit threshold that I'll drop an account siphon.
You run Deja Vu?
In this deck, yes, I do.
Okay.
So, you know, I could reoccur, you know, account siphon 3 more times. I can go get the parasites back again. You kind of have to with the cases, too, because they're so easy to get rid of for the corp, you know, just trash the piece of ice they're installed on. And when this deck relies on this, you know, program so heavily for it to work, you know, being able to go get those back out of your archives, or your trash, rather, is something very much needed. So you can see, you know, John's just stuck in this weird situation now where, you know, the control element of this game has set in, and he just doesn't have the money to res any ice, and so he can't install anything, because if he does, I'm just going to take it. You know, he really needs some type of economy. Oh, and I think this is where he's asking about Mushin Notion and how it works. He was unaware that you have to install it into a brand new server. So he was thinking he could probably install it behind those 2 pieces of ice that were already installed. So there you go. So now at least he's doing this part now. Let's get rid of some of those rooks. And if I was him, I would do it again. You know, if I have another piece of ice in my hand, I'd...
No, he could trash both of them.
Yeah.
You don't have a breaker, so...
Well, he doesn't know that I have a corroder in my hand.
No, he doesn't know, but without knowing you don't have a breaker, you're getting there for free. So 1 res ice is better than none.
So now, remember, Hive is now within range of corroder because of those virus tokens. So you can see, guess what's coming?
Yeah.
Well, first click install, and then spend 3 clicks, and here comes another account siphon.
Ooh, without knowing what the first one's doing.
He can't res it. If he reses it, I'm fine with it again, too. You know, it's just like that vamp, you know. Go ahead and res it, I get the same effect. You know. I just don't want you to have credits. I don't care if I get the credits from you. I just don't want you having them on your pool to be able to be spent. And it could be a barrier, you know. So maybe he's looking at it and going, well, there's just no point in resing it. It could be a quandary, which it is. So again, it cost him 2. So, you know, it's not as good a return as I would have liked. But again, it's still 2 less credits that he has now. So now he's probably thinking, you know, where do I go from here? You know, I finally got some cash in my bank. Can I use it to do something? And if so, what do I do with it? And the problem is, I don't know if he's playing a fast advanced deck. I don't know what kind of style HB deck this is.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out too.
I mean, we've only seen a Project Vitruvius and Efficiency Committee, which you'll see in every HB deck out there because they're just the consistent HB agendas.
No, that's Project Vitruvius. I think that's
accelerated beta test. Yeah, there you go. Which may be why he installed that Jackson. Maybe he thought he was going to be able to score that ABT, and you never want to trigger ABT unless you've got, you know, Jackson in play.
Don't do it.
Yeah. I will note, in a different game in this tournament that's not recorded, I lost the match. One of the few matches I think I lost that day. I think it was one of the only ones I lost as a runner. I lost because my opponent, Jared, triggered an accelerated beta test and got like 15 credits worth of ice installed off it. So, whoa. You know, when your entire deck is based around don't let them res anything, and then they get 15 credits worth of ice installed, it kind of hurts.
So you got the same old thing again. You got a knight.
So, unless I'm mistaken, I think that's the very first sure gamble I've played this game.
Correct.
So you can see that, you know, this deck's economy is almost completely based around either not allowing them to res anything or those account siphons going off. And it does work, you know.
You do have an arbitrage you had in your hand for
I do. So he's going to install to get that buck. And then he's going to play Mushin Notion.
You played it wrong.
Yeah, so that's where I have to explain to him what exactly Mushin Notion does, which is you have to install a new server.
Yeah, for people who doesn't know, when you play the card, you install a card from your hand into a brand new server, put 3 counters, and it uses up 2 of your clicks. So you could, with your last click, put an ice in front of it, but you cannot install it into an existing server.
It's a good way to bait traps.
Yeah, it's traps, a 3-pointer. You can score. Normally a 3-pointer, you drop it, put 2 counters. But with Mushin, you could drop it, put 3, and the next turn put 2.
So you can see here he did exactly what I was wondering if he was going to do. So it looks like he's installed an agenda down there, and he's advancing it, which unfortunately is now advertising to me, hey, that's an agenda. And now, again, I don't really necessarily remember this game so well.
That Mushin is, what, 4 or 5 influence?
There you go. Expensive. So see, I'm going to stop him from advancing that. So I drop a knight onto that quandary, and I count siphon him again. And this is just fantastic. You know, I'm going to take away your money. I'm going to get some money back. And now, again, you're kind of stuck in this weird situation where what are you going to do? You're going to spend all of your credits to try to score that agenda next turn? And go broke? I mean, you can. That's fine. I don't care if you score a point right now. That's one thing that my game style, when I say I've kind of gone to another level with it personally for myself recently, is I used to be very, very aggressive as a runner in the sense that I never wanted the corp to be able to score a point. So if they installed an agenda, I would sit there and do everything I could to figure out a way to get into that and take it. And lately I've realized that there's no reason to do that because points don't matter until you're on match point.
Correct.
So rather than bankrupting myself or potentially hitting some horrible sentry that might trash my programs, you know, I'd rather just let him score that and it doesn't matter. And so here comes another account siphon. You know, you spent all those credits advancing that last agenda, you clicked back up for a couple of them, and now I'm just going to take them all away from you again.
I think you guys have kept, forgot, oh, never mind, there it is.
Yep.
Keeping track of the tags.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys gave up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a true tag me deck, I just don't care. And so now you see me install the data leak reversal and mill some cards. He's got nothing installed over archives, so, you know, it's a free hit for me. And then on top of everything else, now he's going to have to waste a click and 2 credits to get rid of that data leak.
Yep.
So again, just taxing the court. You know, do you want to lose cards or do you want to get hit? You know, or do you want to, you know, spend a buck and 2 credits or 2 credits and a click rather to trash that thing? And you'll be surprised how many people forget about it too. You'll install it and people will forget to trash it.
I'll be one of them. I forgot what it one time. Until it was too late.
So, spoiler alert, you'll see in the next match.
No spoils. Keep us honest.
Data leak reversal is something that will become the bane of my existence very shortly. So,
we want the viewers to go see the other video.
So, okay, it looks like here John just took some cards and didn't trash that data leak. Oh, wait, no, he's still playing. Okay, so he's going to try and Mushin Notion again.
And did it right this time.
He's doing it right this time.
There you go.
And I didn't see if that was an agenda or not. I don't remember if I go after it. So this is something else I've learned lately in my gameplay too, is first click as the runner, I will always draw a card. Even if I have free access to every server on the board, my first click as the runner each turn, I will always draw. And that's simply because I've ran into situations where, I think that's game point, was it? No, I think Project Haas is only 2.
Yeah, you're game point. You need one more point, basically.
That's what I meant. I thought that was a game-winning point, but it doesn't look like it was. But yeah, so what I was saying was, I've ran into situations where I've had such free reign on servers in the past that I'll just consistently run and forget to draw cards. And by doing that, I find out later in the game, I end up being behind because I haven't pulled those cards into my hand that I need once the corp is caught up. So now at the beginning of every turn, for the most part, I will always draw a card as my very first action. So now I'm on game point. The Data Leak Reversal's in play. I can easily access both R&D in his hand. He's not scoring that remote yet, so it tells me that maybe he was trying to bait me into a run, or it's a 5 advance 3-pointer, which again, if he scores, is not going to win him the game, so I don't really much care.
Still got 1 click left.
I think he's got 1 left.
You.
I have an indexing in my hand too, which I could easily play right now, and there he's going to take some credits, right? So the Data Leak's still in play, so now I got 2 choices. Do I index and go for the win, or do I mill the top cards, which I'm going to do, and then just easily hit archives, and there's the game point right there. You got to trash those Data Leaks, man.
I know.
You can't leave them in play. They're actually really difficult to install. Not in this particular game where, you're not resing any ice because you can't, but they do require a successful run. So.
Okay, guys. Angelo here took match 1. So see you guys for match 2.